How do I buy a house without a realtor? Do I have to have a realtor to buy a house? That's a question that I've been getting a lot more lately for various reasons. A couple of the reasons that I can think of. Number one is because it is a for sale by owner. The person selling their home doesn't want a realtor involved. The most common reason that home sellers don't want a realtor involved is because it saves them on the realty or realtor commission fee. It might not necessarily save them that amount of money, but it's a mindset that a lot of people have when they decide to sell the home, because they assume that if they sell the home and they have a realtor, they're going to pay upwards of 6% of the sale price of the home, and that 6% is usually split. 3% would go to the listing agent, who's the realtor that is selling the home, and the other 3% would go to the buyer's agent. So you take 6% of $300,000 or $400,000. That's what's getting the attention of more homeowners who are wanting to sell the home and would rather do so by just doing it on their own. What a lot of people don't realize, though, especially if they've never sold a home or bought a home without a realtor, is that there's actually more work that goes into it than you would think, and it could increase the risk of something going sideways and either the buyer or the seller not being protected in the way that they should in the event that something like that does happen. So for the sake of this video, I'm just going to talk about the buyer's agent and what is it like if you're going to buy a home and the home seller will only accept your offer if there are no realtors involved. Here's the work that's going to have to be done on the buyer's side. First and foremost, it's going to be the price of the house. So as a buyer, as an inexperienced real estate purchaser, how do you know that the price of the home that you think that you're getting ready to pay is comparable or is worth the amount that the home would actually appraise for? Because an appraisal is going to be required if you're going to be requesting financing for the home. So number one, the value of the home. If they're asking $380,000, do you think it's really going to appraise for that? Because if it's not, if it appraises for $330,000 after you've spent $600 for an appraisal, at that point, unless it's a VA loan, the seller could still keep your earnest deposit that you might have made and written the check out to the seller instead of the title company, because you didn't have a real estate agent to let you know, hey, if you're going to make an offer and this offer gets accepted, it is common to make a deposit, an earnest money deposit, but typically that check would go to the title company because they're an unbiased third party. And if something goes sideways or the deal doesn't end up working out because the title company is an unbiased third party, they're going to review the terms of the agreement that you and the seller signed. And based on the verbiage of that agreement, they will decide whether or not you get that earnest deposit check back. In addition to the price, the next thing to think about is the terms of the agreement. When is closing? You're probably going to need 30 days at least. Who's going to order the home inspection? Do you need a home inspection? When do you want to order the appraisal? What title company do you want to use? A real estate agent is likely going to be helping by getting you set up with all of these various companies between the real estate agent and the lender. The lender typically orders the appraisal, but it's a sensitive timing issue on when you order the appraisal, because you don't necessarily want to pay for an appraisal to order if you don't have the inspection back. Because if you order the inspection and the appraisal at the same time, you just spent $800 to $1,000 between those two types of inspections. Then you get the inspection back and find out it's not good, and the seller is not willing to make any changes or pay for those repairs. Then you have an appraisal coming in that you already paid for, and it's worthless because you're not going to buy the house because of the home inspection. So the timing there is critical. Other things that you're going to want to consider, especially if the home is not in a planned unit development or a general neighborhood, is does the home even qualify? Is it an FHA loan that you're using? Is it a condo? Is the condo on the FHA approved condo list? Same deal with the VA. If it's a VA loan and you're buying a condo, is it on the VA approved condo list? Does the property have a well? You need to inspect that water to make sure it's safe for consumption. Is there a private road to get to the house from the nearest county road or highway? Those are all scenarios that a real estate agent should be looking at in order to make sure that it's all going to meet the lending guidelines before you provide that deposit, or at least ensure that you have a period of days, 3 to 5 business days, to get all of this review done before you proceed with ordering the appraisal and the processing and put your earnest money at risk. These are just a few things to consider if you're going to be buying a home without any realtors involved. If it's a straightforward purchase, if you know the seller, if you get a good vibe about the seller and you've walked through the home and you know what you're looking for, and generally when you're looking at a home, is the water heater in good condition? Does the roof look like it's less than 10 years old? And then all the basic things, no broken glass. Is the home livable? Is it in good condition? And you can do some nearby comparables. So look at some online listings and for the comparable sake, is it the same number of bedrooms, same number of bathrooms, same lot size, same square footage? Overall, is it comparable to those other properties, and see what those properties are being listed at? But also remember, just because they're listed at a certain price, that doesn't necessarily mean that's the value of those homes. So you might want to, if the listing price is $400,000, you might want to make it around, I don't know, $380,000, and then see what the asking price is of the home that you're interested in, and if it's within that window, then that might be a realistic asking price for that home. So if you do decide to proceed with the home purchase without any realtors involved, if you have a knowledgeable, trustworthy lender, they will have a really good idea of what that whole process looks like, and they can walk you through the steps and then just do the math. If you're comfortable with the seller and the home, is it worth your time to save potentially 3 to 6% of the price of the home to spend on doing these various things to make sure that you're protected?